Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome. Let's talk about Bitcoin dump. Because if you've been following my analysis in November 2021, I called a dump to 30k. I said the dump to 30k go choco. I said be patient to buy Bitcoin cheaper at 30k. And less than 1 year later, Bitcoin currently just hit 30k yesterday. So the question now is Bitcoin Gorilla, what next? You might ask me, where are we going from here? It looks terribly scary right now on Bitcoin and in fact for the entire crypto community. Are we going to see a bounce? Because you talked about a bounce. Yes, I did talk about a bounce. I talked about Bitcoin recovering to 52k, 58k to 64k. Between these three targets, it's very possible. And I also talked about being patient. A lot of patience is needed, and this video we're going to discuss why a lot of patience is needed before this recovery and why we had to see 30k first before this recovery. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. If you are an old subscribers, thank you for returning to watch this video. I appreciate you. If you are a new viewer, thank you for watching this video. And if you do find the price action analysis simple and easy to understand and comprehensive, the good thing is I am constantly making a long-term analysis and I will come and update you on that same analysis on how it is going. So if you find it quite interesting, always do come back to watch the video to make sure that the price is playing according to it's supposed to. If not, please leave your reviews and comment. I am always open to hear your reviews because they help me improve, especially in my technical analysis. Most times I make a lot of this analysis that I can't remember which is which, but if you leave your comment, you remind me if I am missing on anyone. So thank you very much. This video is going to be multiple time frame analysis, so stick by as I come back and we get into the analysis.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over.
Hello, and I am back. So now we're going to look into this price and see what is going to happen with Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin going to do? If I look closely right here, this is the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy that I'm going to be using. It's simple price action and quite easy to comprehend. So what I see that Bitcoin made it to my very important support. So even if I try to, first of all, let me see what the trend lines are doing, it's going to tell me that the trend line has been broken, and because I can see it, it's quite clear that we already have the bias trend line. So if I was to use trend line to gauge what is happening, I would have of course lose some money because why? The trend line was completely charted by this BS. They were not easy on the bulls at all. So we see that they broke the trend line, they pierced through it, but what we just see is a sharp recovery, right? We see them currently sitting above it. Now mind you, this is the weekly chart, so know that weekly chart is still one candle. The weekly chart just started yesterday and we still have 5 days to the down of the weekly chart. So this is a new open candle, and we see this new open candle actually is the candle that broke the tip of the support. So what the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy treats support and resistance as an area. Now unlike so many strategy out there, my strategy treats support and resistance as an area. So whenever I talk about support, you're going to look at it as an area. Whenever I talk about resistance, I'm talking about an area, a zone, right? So not just a line. A line is not good enough. It can easily get charted, right? So I treat it as an area. So this is a very important support area, though it is not as strong as this, because this is much stronger support. There are actually other mini supports, I know, but those ones are not relevant since I'm dealing with the weekly chart. I am after the most strong support that withstand a strong sell-off, right? So the first strong one is right here, where you can see the previous reaction in the past. So something tells me there is something cooking right here when price got to there, and that was exactly where we hit and price reversed back up. This is just happening yesterday, right? So I'll go to daily chart. Of course we're going to look at daily chart. and you're going to make more sense of what I am talking about. But first of all, on the weekly chart, it's telling me that price is back to a very important buy range, and the good thing is as support, the multiple times is weak is hit, the weaker it becomes. Resistance, the multiple times is hit, the weaker it becomes. And in this scenario, if I want to count how many times this support has been hit, is twice. In the previous times, this is one. Why am I counting this one? It already broke it and it retested it, so of course it's one, right? And this is two. Twice the 30k range all the way, in fact is 28k range all the way to 32k range has been a point of support twice in the past. So now I treat it as an area, in the sense that the tip is important as the right here, right? So the entire of this range, whenever price is in it, I expect things like this to happen, right? You can see. So what it tells me that mostly I'm going to see wicks. Of course, you can see a wick already developing, right? And one, I'm going to see wicks, candles with more tails, right? That's one on the support area. That's one to show me there's a buy power. Two, I am going to see overlapping candles, sideways market. I'm going to see a sideways market, especially in that same range. A good example is what is happening here, and it also took place in the past. At least minimum of two candles overlapping themselves. So somehow are we going to get another mini up overlapping few couple of weeks, or we see this candle pulling back up and instantly reacting back up? Now that will depend on what we see on the lower time frame. But what the box strategy is telling me is I am going to likely experience a little sideways, right? A little sideways market. But according to the box, I want to tell you something, because I like being very open, right? So what I am saying is this: it's good you watch this video to the end so that you understand my reason for saying this. So if I say it now, don't just click off the video without understanding the logic behind it. It's good to wait. The main support lies around here. Oh God, I know a lot of people don't want to see this. It lies around here. But first, my box, the support, there's a support here. That's the first support. Let me take it this way. Let me take it this way. The main support, this is the main box. This is the main box, right? The main box is like a Pandora box. Inside the box, so the box strategy, when it's spiraling out, price is going up. When it's spiraling down, price is going down. So what we're seeing is price is spiraling down, right? And price is moving from one box to another. And we see that the outside box, there's actually an inner box. The inner box is strong, but it's not as strong as the outer box. What am I talking about in terms of the strength? I'm talking about the support, the buy power, the capability of capital that has entered in that range in the past is stronger in this area. Why? Just see how long price traded along this range, right? You see, it's over years that price has been trading in this range. So the strength of withstanding a fall is stronger within this range. To be honest, it could get here, but I'm not saying it will get here. I'm just giving you the strength of the box. Is saying the strength of standing a strong volatile market is based on the box that I'm dealing with. The box I'm dealing with right now is the inner box, which means chances of survival of the bulls is also high, but it won't be as high as them leaving the box. So even if they survive the inner box, they have to battle the outer box, because the outer box rejected them here, there's a chance that they will still reject them right here, right? So there's a battle that will go on for the bulls, which could prove that more downside could occur after a sharp pull-up from this current dump. Now, the question that we're going to answer on this weekly chart, each chart will show us what is likely, is how far pull-up can we expect and how far dump can we expect. Now, if I am to consider price action, and we're still on price action patterns, and let me forecast. I'm still forecasting the issue of having something that looks like inverse head and shoulder, where we're going to have X, we're going to have H, and we're going to have X. So we have this missing point. So I'm going to use it as a question mark. So there's a missing point there. What's the missing point? First of all, this SHX is going to be possible because we already have a neckline. How is it going to be possible? If Bitcoin bulls succeed in pulling up from this current 30K to 28K support range and pull back up, then we are heading to that formation of possibly an inverse, a head and shoulder, not inverse, a head and shoulder. That's actually a bearish sign. But before the bearish sign occur, we will see a pump. The pump that I've been calling for quite some time. But why didn't the pump come? Yes, I made a prediction that yes, it's going to dump to 30K. I also made another prediction after that 30K. This prediction was in 2022. I also made early 2022 that we're going to get a recovery to 64K, 58K range. Yes, we had a recovery, but it did not go above 28K range, which me myself, I think I completely, in fact, the pull up, 48K range, it didn't go above 48K range, which I personally understand. I understood why that happened, because as a result of the control line. Now this only tells me that yes, it's just like what happened here. So what we're seeing is this rejection helps us to form a clear push to the support, the main bottom of the support, which is here. Now this is looking like a double bottom. If we look closely, we see it looks like a double bottom. This is one, and if this complete, this is two, right? So it will go something like this. I don't know if you're familiar with double bottom. It could go something like that. That's the first pattern, double bottom, first pattern. First pattern, double bottom. And if that double bottom plays out, you see, it's going to move from one pattern to another. I'm forecasting what I'm saying. You ask me, how are you seeing all of this? Well, thanks to my box strategy, and of course, I am seeing what I'm seeing. I don't know how to explain it to you, but if you want to learn how I am seeing what I'm seeing, please come to Makaveli Traders. I do give 6 months intensive training. Access is currently open and it will be closing exactly by May 23rd. Is limited access. Not only do I give you 6 months intensive training, you will get to trade futures live with me. I'm a high leverage trader. You trade with me daily and you get more confidence in your trading because I share every insight, why I'm taking a trade, my wins, my loss, everything is live for the whole student to see. I have nothing to hide. We trade live. So what I am forecasting is this: when the double bottom plays out, it's going to lead us to this point. And what does that do? It completes the inverse head and shoulder. And this becomes the neckline. So here becomes our neckline. Here becomes our X. Here our H. Here our X. So it's like one pattern has to complete for the next pattern to start. The major pattern that is heading is bearish pattern. But the one that will lead it to that bearish pattern, that's the bearish pattern, is inverse head and shoulder. But the one that will lead it to that bearish pattern is double bottom. I don't know if you're catching. So that's the pattern that the box is predicting likely going to play out, right? So the pattern of that inverse head and shoulder is where the problem is going to come, because it's actually a strong reversal pattern. It's either they get rejected here, but chances are high they will get rejected as around 64K to complete the X, right? Same shoulder, right? Very close. I know they will get some 64K or 65K range. Within that range, they could get rejected. But that will be a disaster, because this coin will only come like this and go down. To retest the 20K breakout. I know this is not what you want to hear, but me, Bitcoin Gorilla, I'm telling you what I'm seeing. A new all-time high is likely not going to be possible anytime soon until the next halving. It's going to repeat itself 1 year after halving, there will be a sharp pump that will take us all the way above 80k. It's going to be another movement, another smooth ride. This smooth ride is just a short period of time. So what is happening to Bitcoin now? Everybody has been saying, oh, we've been dumping. It's been a completely wipe. But what you do not know, or what you do not see from the higher time frame, Bitcoin is still stuck within a range. The price has not really moved. It's still the same procedure we arrived at January 2021. We arrived at it at January 2022, and now in May we are back to the same range. So it's obviously we are just going in cycles. It might look to people who bought now. It's going to be affecting you mentally if you bought anywhere above this point, right? Anywhere above 30k, you're going to be feeling the pain, the anxiety, the waiting. And I know sports traders are the ones to feel this more. This is why you should learn to stake your coin and learn how to mitigate loss. And it's also important to learn how to find other strategies like futures to hedge your account to help you save losses in dumps like this. So on the weekly chart, things are still looking all right, because all we did is retest the support for the second time. But I do see them struggling, like going couple of candle overlapping themselves, and then we're going to get a recovery. So if you ask me, remember, this is no financial advice, but I think if you're patient enough, we're going to still get a mini recovery, a recovery that could still take us to 52k to 64k range. I still keep saying this, and I see it coming. Even though we just hit 30k, I see it coming. All it needs is patience, and it's going to play out. And once it play out, the returning, I might not be able to say we're going to survive the next time we're going to hit 30k again. If we come to 30k one more time, it's going to be done today. Because why? If they come, they're going to have a mini bounce and then they go down. It's become too many. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. If they come for it 4 and 5, they will break, they will chatter 30k. That's the honest truth of what I'm seeing on the weekly chart. But that's just weekly chart. One chart is not enough to tell me this is what's going to play out on Bitcoin. So this is why I'm going to take it down to daily chart, and let me try to make more sense of the chart, right? Still Bitcoin Gorilla Box, and I do not need to redraw the chart. So I'm going to try to see what the chart looks like now. So we're going to see if we can implement. We're going to see if we can implement buyer's line, and if we can also implement seller's line, and see how they respected this line. Sorry, I need to reboot this. So I need to understand what is happening on the daily chart, contrast it with what we saw on the weekly chart, and also look at the 4 hour chart and wrap it up with just candlesticks on the monthly chart. So this is the daily chart. Beautiful. And I see that if I try to see what are the possible patterns that I would say is playing out here, price action patterns, I would say that I'm seeing the pennant. It's a pennant, but it looks like it was on the trend, right? Now, one thing about candlesticks pattern, if you know, is that they do fail easily. They fail, and most times they do have fake outs. Fake outs do occur, especially in terms of breakouts. Fake outs do occur, and fake outs could lead to a lot of things. So first of all, let me take out this candle. So this line. So what I'm first seeing is a pennant, right? You ask me what is a pennant. A pennant is actually a bullish pattern whereby this is the flag pole, right? Before we had that sharp pause. It's a continuation pattern. It's actually a pause, a mini pause in the market. But here's the thing about pennants you must understand. They also fail. Now, one thing about the failure of pennants is this: when pennant break on the wrong side, it is likely going to react and move to the opposite direction in the same range. So let's say now we're seeing this pennant is broken to the downside. It's supposed to break to the upside, which is causing a sign of either a fake out or a failure, right? It's good to stay open-minded, because these patterns fail, and you must identify when they are failing and know what action to take. Now this is a bullish pattern, bullish continuation pattern, but it has broken to the downside. And if look at it, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and it's on the downside. Now for my box strategy, it's still within support. For the pennant is a threat. Now what does this tell me? Now for this to play out, the pennant has the chance of actually, right, it do have the chance of still getting a pull up, right? So if we have this weakliness candle start pulling back up, it's likely going to react forcefully to the other side. Why? Is because price broke to the wrong side. So I'm looking at what are the chances for the bull. Let's say the breakout of this pennant to the downside is not a good thing, but let's call it a fake out. And if that turns out to be a fake out, which we cannot conclude right now. Why? Because the price of the candle is still fresh. It's still a new weekly candle. It's just a day old. And if this candle don't close, we cannot judge a book by this cover, because it's like the game of football. Anything can happen even in the last second. So this candle that is currently red now can change into green even in the last second. So it's good to stay open-minded. Sorry, this is weekly chart, this is daily chart. So back to daily chart. So we see clearly, so this is the pennant on the daily. You can see it's quite very clear. All right, so we see the pennant has been broken to the downside, but like I said, how do I know it's a fake out and not a breakout? It will and not a breakdown. Now it will be a fake out if this current daily candle reverse that breakout. And of course, I'm already seeing them trying to attempt. So what I need them is, can they return back up? Because if they return back up and fail to go back down, it's going to force them to move up and change direction, and this would force an attack on this side, right? But it's not going to be that easy move. No, it's not going to be that. Let me explain what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. They'll pull back up, attack this seller line right there, the top of the pennant around 40k, right? Then they will reverse back down, right, all the way down to 33k, 34k before moving all the way up, right, and finding their way up, right, to break a control line. Because like I said, there's a control line right here at the middle of this box. There's a control line, and that's where their first rejection is going to happen, right there. And exactly that's what I was saying. That's where their first reaction is going to be, around the 40k, that's it, 40k range, right? In fact, they could pierce that line, because it's a line, they could pierce it. But 40k is possible from where they are, if it was a fake out. Why? Rejection of this weekly candle that pierced down, reversing it into a candle that has just a week. So within the week, if we can get a recovery this week, that Bitcoin recovers above 40k, then it will be beautiful, because then it has cancelled the dump to 30k, and we continue the move to the upside. So that's the first thing on how we can undo what is currently playing out, in the sense that the bullish pennant is retest has been extended. So it's more like that. Let's say the bullish pennant retest has been extended, and let's hope it is a fake out, right? Yeah, let's hope it's a fake out. So that's the first news. We are on a good support. Chances of a bounce is high, but we need to see some volume. So this could take a little time and a little sideways, but I don't think it will be as long, because this particular one took from May and they had a breakout in July. So I don't know how long this is going to take. Now, one thing I've learned about all this prediction is when you predict, you need patience for it to play out, because we can know what is likely going to happen. Even a seer can see, but he can't tell you exactly the right time is going to happen. You might see it coming, but you might not know the timing. It's only God that knows the perfect timing, and everything seems to play out according to perfect timing. And right now on Bitcoin, the perfect time has come, and for me, I think chances are high, over 75%, we're going to get a bounce, especially the fact that they are within my box range. So the status of the box says, hey, the buy signal is flashing. Remember, this is no financial advice, but the 30k buy signal is flashing to get a bounce, but do not expect a new all-time high because of the challenge we're going to face at 52k, the challenge we're going to face at 58k, and possible challenge at 64k. So be very careful if you are entering a buy. Don't enter with the hopes of going to 200k, 100k. I think that is not likely going to be possible right now until after halving on Bitcoin. Now after halving, trust me, anything is possible, but right now I think we need to get our feet on the monthly chart to see why I think it's going to happen after halving. The reason why I see all this thing happening after halving is, let's make sense, let's entirely just completely delete the whole drawing and work with simple chart with no indicator. Now this is the weekly chart. This is why I said the chart is something else on the weekly. It's less noisy. I can easily make sense of what is happening in the market, and again I can see a clear sideways market, and somehow you see the same support we were talking about, range, right? But here's the thing about this support. If this keeps going, like I said, the sell-off says the next support is here, 20k to 18k range. That is where the next support is. If we don't hold this point, remember, it's the same thing the weekly chart shows us, which is a threat, right? We have to somehow behind Bitcoin find a way to hold the 30k. Though the bulls up to now do still have chances because they are still on a sideways. So if we look on monthly chart, we find out that monthly chart and weekly chart is on a sideways, right? Is on a sideways. So which means this is a mini pause on the higher time frame. Whatever cry a lot of us have been crying is because we did not enter Bitcoin at the right time, and we entered from the point where the threat has already started building. So even if we are holding, the entire period we've been holding for the past 1 year has actually, in fact, since March 2021, it has been a struggle. So even though you benefited from when Bitcoin first arrived at 28k the first time and went all the way back up to 68k, somehow you didn't just know, you are still inside a range. So if you bought it during that time and intend to hold Bitcoin to moon, there will be a problem because the moon is not possible because it's going to return to that 28k. That is exactly what it did. So we see something like this occurring. So we just hope that it doesn't go like this before going like this, right? So it means a retest. So if this was a sideways market, it means there was a breakout. So if you know price, we're talking about candlesticks now. So let's talk about price life cycle. We're talking about candlesticks. So if we're talking about price life cycle, we know that the accumulation stage comes just before the breakout, and right here accumulation is price going between same price range up and down for a long period of time, and you can see that is what occurred here from a long time on Bitcoin. Now if you didn't watch my last video before the dump, I made a video, I talked about why this dump is happening, and I talked about the chances of when next we're going to see a pump, and why 2017 is repeating itself. I even shared my lessons, my experience about 2017, and how I've used it to learn, right? Not to make the same mistake. Why I also learned that patience and timing is the best way to benefit from this market. It's not by pro-nicheness. This market, when it wants to flog you, it will still flog you. It's by timing, understanding the timing, right? And taking the right action at the right time. It all ends in time. Time is a mystery, and time unfolds so many things. So if you can be patient in understanding breakout and then taking advantage of them, you're going to benefit a lot. So that's what happened here when price broke out after a long period of time, and you can see after the breakout we have entered yet another sideways. Now if the first breakout happened, one thing I have learned in price action is that retests always occur. Sometimes it will take a long time before the retests occur. Why? Because if sideways market money, let's say you've been buying a lot of people have been buying Bitcoin for a long period of time, but price did not change. Price seems to be stagnant in one point. At some point, why is that you will ask yourself, why is price stagnant if a lot of people are still buying Bitcoin? You will say nobody's interested in Bitcoin. Well, that would be a lie. People are still interested in Bitcoin. It's just that capital is entering the market, but price is not moving. Why? The reason is because of the sellers that are already in the market. Price needs to exhaust all the sell orders, and once price is able to exhaust all the sales orders, then Bitcoin can easily move up, and that is what happened. So once we have all those who are scared of holding, all those who are just there for the clout, who are just there to just catch quick rich, who wants to get rich quick and all of that, are flushed out. Once they are all flushed out, price moves up, right? So that price move up, price will come back to retest the support, and we know that a broken resistance becomes support, and the broken resistance previously was the all-time high around 20k range. So if we're coming to retest, where do we expect this retest to happen? The retest will happen exactly the last possible broken support, the last possible broken resistance, which was around the 20k range. So in real sense, somehow Bitcoin one day is going to return to that 20k range, if not 18k range. I hope they don't go lower than that, right? Because this sometimes when this bears starts striking, it will even break all the support you think will hold. But before that happens, if you're stuck on Bitcoin is still going to see 58k. I do see that coming, but it's going to take a lot of patience. In fact, it's going to happen before the next. If it's going to happen, probably soon within the range, but it's going next big pump is going to happen after the halving. So 4 hours, we're going to use 4 hours to round up this analysis. So I'm going to look at 4 hours and see what we have. So this is the 4 hours. So we see the broken support. You can see them. You can see the coincidence. Now this looks like a double bottom, right? It looks like a double bottom with this. So can they successfully hold it? Because if they do, then it will help them return back up. I hope they don't get rejected and we move down. That would be a disaster if Bitcoin actually go down and not get a recovery. I don't want to say it's impossible, because 2017 taught me to never think anything is impossible in crypto. In fact, everything is possible since 2017. I realized that what goes up also do come down without even giving me a warning. So that happened in 2017 for me. When I was thinking it would bounce, and I got stuck in a market that kept dumping, and I learned my lesson. So the lesson is to be on guard. Even if you're buying, there's nothing as important right now in trading. If you're actually trading, you're not buying to hold for a long time. There's nothing as important if you're a spot trader to use stop loss. If futures traders to use stop loss. Liquidations are easy now. The market is very volatile, and these supports are breaking easily. So even if I come here and give you analysis, the next person give you analysis, don't blame the person if this support hold and all this support break. The reason is that we see it, but we don't know how much force it's coming with, and it is the force that this money comes in or leaves the market that determine how fast the volatility moves, right? So if huge amount of money leaves the market, it's an instant move and it will react instantly, and sometimes you don't know the particular amount and you don't know how heavy it will affect the market, and sometimes when money enters the market, that's how it also affect the market. So these things, a lot of things affect the market. So don't blame yourself too much, and if you find yourself in this whole situation, or you're stuck in a trade, or you're still holding Bitcoin or possibly any altcoin, I understand the situation that we already are, and if you are already in the position, you're already in the position, and if you couldn't exit, I understand. I do really understand. We are going to get a bounce, and it's going to take patience. If you've not staked your coin, I advise you look into staking. It's going to help you to recover some loss, at least. Even if it's not all the loss, at least you recover, even if it's 10 to 15% of the loss that is on your coin. All you need to do is go and stake your coin. Just look for the exchange that, in fact, most wallets now allow staking, giving it easy for you to just take the coin while you're waiting for the market to recover. Is a way to hedge your position. I've been talking about staking in this channel for quite some time, and I remember around January I made videos of majority of the coins, and I said this is how you can stake them. You can go and watch the videos. If you need any further ways to understand this market, or if you're interested in trading daily with me, please, you can join Makaveli Traders. Access is currently open, where you're going to trade with me live. You're going to learn how to understand prices, how to trade them. I trade Bitcoin futures, and I am a high leverage trader. I have family that I trade with daily, and you can come in and join us. If you are interested to improving your trading on futures, spot, and understanding better how to manage your position, your portfolio, and if you need a mentor that not just teach you, a mentor that trade life with you daily, you see my struggles, you see each trade, you see each loss, and my reactions to market volatility on a daily basis. I remain Bitcoin Gorilla. Thank you for watching, and if you find the video interesting, don't forget to subscribe. Happy trading. And before now, I'll come up after now. Once any change start occurring in the market, I'll definitely come back and update you.